We are spawning in the bottom right. In the red. One part of this duo that actually had a really good showing in Any Apprentice just recently. He's the Red Terran. He's PracticeX. And his partner, not his opponent, his partner also in the red, he's the Zerg. He's GhostlySwarm, also known as Glow, because again, players' names are not exactly what they say they are. And then on the other side of the map, in the blue, the Terran player, the other half of SilentGhostt, it's Mexi. And rounding out this foursome here, this quartet of players, also in the blue, the scion of 2v2 himself, it's SilentGhostt. And I could have sworn SilentGhostt was a Terran player, but maybe he does something different for 2v2. You never know. And unfortunately, because this is not made with GameHeart, even though the players did select team colors, it's not showing here. And actually, can I? No. I turn off colorblind mode. It's not gonna do it. Unfortunately, yeah, that's not gonna do it. But I do owe you all one thing. Gameplay, life bars, damage. There we go. Oh, actually, I do owe you one more thing. I apologize for this. We'll fix this in a second. There we go. And now we're all good. So I'm just very lucky that we don't have a mirrored team set up right now. Welcome, Blitz. Welcome, welcome, welcome indeed. We're just lucky we don't have a mirrored team, TTZZ or PP, something like that. Because with the lack of GameHeart here, trying to figure out who's Zerglings or who's Marines or who's is always a fun time. But now we do have a couple things moving across the map. They really should not be able to get a whole lot done. There is a Reaper here, and with proper micro, I mean, Mexi should be able to clear this up sooner rather than later. Now, unfortunately, he will lose the SCV, which means that he's going to be in a rough situation from that perspective. The natural is going to be not all that happy, but now we do have Zerglings coming in from SilentGhostt as well. That should be absolutely fine there. Now we do have a couple more Zerglings moving across the map, and speed is done. More and more Zerglings being produced here, so this is more than just a light pressure. This is going to be a little bit more dedicated, and well, as speed is not anywhere near to being done here, this is getting a little bit scary. But the Zerglings that are streaming across the map, their only goal is to keep delaying this command center, and actually they will get the Reaper as well, but no surprise, of course. Zerglings against Reaper, or Speedlings against Reapers, are a pretty good thing. And as there's no wall on the high ground here, they could absolutely do more damage than they are doing, but nope, they say, you know what? Getting trades against Zerglings, against Reapers, delaying this command center until the end of time, that is a pretty good deal for us. As well, GhostlySwarm, he's pretty happy with this continuous Zergling production here. We see no droning up whatsoever. You know, more and more Zerglings on the way. I'm just going to snowball this, and that's a pretty fair assessment. He's doing a great job. He owns the natural mineral, the natural ramp here. The command center will be delayed once again, and this time it looks like actually this will be they'll be forced to cancel. I would have rather seen, honestly, I would have rather seen Mexi go and just when he saw speed pop, he's like, look, I'm not going to be able to finish this. I need to cancel. I need to rebuild on the high ground ASAP. Not at 3 minutes and 40 seconds into this game. Because of course, the longer that he waits, the more difficult life is for him. The more difficult it is to survive, to keep that up. Because you do want a natural command center, you do want to be mining, and yes, your opponents can't feed, your partners can't feed you. That is a thing. Yeah, it's 2v2. But at this early point in the game, just trying to get fed minerals, that's not a good situation whatsoever. But now the Zergling Baneling fights are starting to happen. Behind this, SilentGhostt has taken almost 0 damage, so it will be upon him. It will be his job for the majority of this game to make sure that things happen properly. And now with the Hellions here, this is going to get a lot spicier. As well, the Blue Flame is just about done, so we're waiting for a bunch of Speedlings. A bunch of Blue Flame Hellions now run their way on into everything. And Blue Flame Hellions, they do pretty well against everything that Zerg and Terran has in the early game. So now we have Zerglings surrounding everything. The Queens are just going to go down, and with it, this Spine as well. And there we have, not a GG, it's something. And there we have a GG. SilentGhostt with it, and looks like PracticeX, GhostlySwarm, they're going to take game number 1. With little fanfare. Hey, thank you for the follow, Per Green Knight. Yes, Sugar, in incredibly close game. Looks like I'm playing at the moment. That's probably not a good idea. As unfortunately, I have not had the time to play StarCraft the last couple weeks between working in the lab. I'm a PhD student, and casting StarCraft. There's not a lot of time to play. All right. I don't think we're gonna have any updates. I highly doubt it. Unless there's some sort of walkover, but it looks like everyone has checked in, everyone ready to go, and we're just sitting here waiting for the players to ready up for this game number 2. And we're now ready here for this game number 2. It's going to be an Arctic Dream, which is going to be a little bit bigger map, does have a bit safer of bases to take than we saw in game number 1. Or both players having a pocket natural. But before we talk about that, before we talk about what's happening, we should probably get on into the game itself. And that's what we're going to do. Players, they're loaded into Arctic Dream LE. And here we are spawning in the upper left. In the red, representing himself and himself alone, it's PracticeX. And his opponent in the upper right, also in the red, the Zerg player, it's GhostlySwarm. And on the bottom side of the map, in the blue trunks, that master of 2v2 content, 2v tournaments himself, in the blue, it's SilentGhostt. And rounding it out, his partner, Terran player, it's Mexi. I'm sitting here with there being a GhostlySwarm and a SilentGhostt. I keep trying to call one thing and one the other, and it is a difficult thing indeed. As we do have what looks to be proxy Reaper play coming in for Mexi in this game number 2. He said, "You know what? We took some damage. You all ended us in game number 1. That did not feel good. That was not a lot of fun. What if we do the same to you on the in game number 2? So we do have that aggressive natural taken by the Zerg ASAP. Make sure you establish the creep out sooner rather than later. If you're trying to be aggressive, it allows you to push lings or roaches or whatever you want out faster, and then you have that defensive third to take as the game goes on. But of course, well, GhostlySwarm, he's going for something aggressive too, as he did go for a 13-13 once again. So we have the incredibly delayed GLHF, the whole, I need to make sure that I hit my macro properly. Need to make sure I hit my all-in timings properly before I go across the map, before I type that GLHF, whatever the case. And now we do have a bunch of circling from GhostlySwarm on the way. And it should be noted, well, there is no natural here. There is no natural for GhostlySwarm. There is one for SilentGhostt, and all of the production units for our blue Terran player are across the map. So it is purely on SilentGhostt to be able to hold, and as speed is timed out pretty closely. Well, I don't hate that at all. So unfortunately, it does look like the first Reaper to come out here on the map here for Mexi was scouted out, and we did have the other Reaper take the first shot, but now we have 2 Reapers versus 1, and that means this Reaper is absolutely going to die. But these are Reapers against Speedlings, and well, Reapers are not all that great against Speedlings. Well, it's actually really just more of a hard counter than anything else. So now we have Zerglings. They're going to try to get on top of them. The grenades are not going to be all that great, and Zerglings, they should be able to get this round sooner rather than later. Now we have Zerglings surrounding Reapers. And the follow-up here from SilentGhostt should be enough for the moment to push our red team back. But that is only until, of course, they're able to build some more stuff. Now, there is a nice full wall here, and not a lot of Reaper cliffs on this side of the map, to be totally honest. But of course, we do see the Zerglings, we see the Reapers finding their way onto the right-hand side of the map, doing what they can to just knock GhostlySwarm out of this game before anything happens. And actually, they're going to take that solid fight. It's 2-on-1. Now, the Zerglings will well, the drones will be forced to flee to flee to the natural, but that natural is actually just going to get canceled, interestingly enough. I think you keep that. Because it's not like you're why Glow here is more suffering than anything else due to the lack of production. I mean, lack of economy too, absolutely, but production is the big one, and that is problematic for him, absolutely. So this is a PracticeX versus the world at this point, and the one thing he is going for him, he does have 2 bases. He did have the ability to build something, but now the Reapers, they're going to find their way. Nice surround there actually from GhostlySwarm. It's going to be able to kill off a bunch of these. So most of the Reapers will be dead. But this is PracticeX versus the world. Hey, thanks for the follow Terran Ravager. And the question is, what are we going to do here? Glow has sent all of his money off to PracticeX. And this is absolutely going to have to be a game where PracticeX somehow, due to the fact that he's taken no damage, is able to claw his way back into the game. Do something. I would almost not be surprised. Actually, no. Yep, no, it's not going to happen anymore. I was going to say, with these eggs here. But yeah, the eggs are gone, of course, because they're off grip. There was a chance that Glow could be fed about 50 minerals and then build a drone, get fed some money, be able to eventually find their way back into the game. That's not what's going to happen, though, is there are no eggs. There is... Oh, there is a drone left on the map. So there is the potential for something to get built here if Forever X is ever able to take advantage of the money that he was fed earlier, actually build a good economy and do things like that. So we have a couple Hellions moving across the map here inside the slow zones. Better hope the Circlings are not on the other side of that one, that's for sure. But they will find these Reapers, and the Reapers, well, okay, never mind. No, they won't. But now the Hellions, they will find their way on into the main base, and there's not a whole lot of defense here. Hellions are pretty good against Mass Reapers. The Hellions don't even care about the Reapers at this point. They say, okay, I know it's 2-on-1, let's make it 1-on-1. But the Hellions here, they're not going to do a ton on their own, but they do find themselves into a pretty nice slot, and there's one Reaper. The Reaper is the story. We're going to watch the drone count go, the SCV count for Mexi go down and down and down to 7 SCVs, and there's just no anti-air. So now we have a Zergling counterattack, but again, this is a full wall on the high ground. There's a tank, there's a bunker, and this is just a rather this is a funky game. All right, Mexi, he has money. We have, okay, we do. Okay. Banshees will of course find the Cyclone. Cyclone will go down. SCVs are going to keep dying as well. And Mexi now, he has what, mineral for 2 SCVs, and that's about it. As he sits here on 2 supplies. So we have this is a good old TVZ on a 2-player map. Yep, no units for our blue Terran player. Well, he's got 1. And I would actually just like to see the Banshees go and kill that one off to really just deny things. But the Zerglings, they're doing a good job shelling, or eating away, I should say shelling. There are no shells that the Zerglings fire. But doing a good job eating away at this third base. The third base, of course, it is now down. And now we have, what do we have? 2 SCVs here. And SCVs the Banshees are doing a great job trying to pick things off. And that's the question, right? Is it more worth it to ruin someone's game, to take them out of the game in its entirety? Or is it more worth it to have 2 players equally damaged? And again, I don't play 2v2 a whole lot. I couldn't tell you one way or the other. But what I will say is I think PracticeX has done enough damage. Remember, in the all-in, so I guess GhostlySwarm is purple. Anyway, so the Zerglings now, they're going to run their way across the map. And I don't know what SilentGhostt is going to be able to do here, to be totally honest. I'm pretty sure SilentGhostt is a Terran player. It's a Masters Terran. Decently solid player. Okay, unfortunately, it looks like the Zerglings will find this last drone of GhostlySwarm. So that is just going to go down. But we have a drop here at the main base, and the natural command center of Mexi is going to go down, as well as all of his SCVs. He's out of the game now, so it's 1 versus 1. 11 meters are on the way, and that is SilentGhostt's attempt, his hope, his dream to maybe be able to get something done here. But the drop is doing tremendous damage, and all this infrastructure, well, it's not a whole lot you can do for it. I guess what you can do, can you try to mortgage it off, sell it off to try to inject money into Silent Ghost Army, but I'm not even sure that's worth it. Now we do have the mutas, they are out. 11 mutas done, 4 more on the way for a grand total of 50, but now we have some Marines stimming it. They're going to catch 2 mutas before anything happens. And in all honesty, these Marines can fight these mutas well enough, because they are the only hope here of Silent Ghost. The Marines, they will keep going, and more mutas do go down here, and there's just nothing on the ground. The Marines keep dying, or the Marines keep firing, the mutas keep dying, and there's just nothing left here for Silent Ghost. No mutas left on the map. This one drop doing tremendous work. Then we have a GG. PracticeX by himself winning a game number 2. It was 2 versus 1, but did PracticeX care? He did not.